Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Kemetic Truth. My name is Clark, and I am your host, and this is the premiere episode on my YouTube channel, so I'd like to welcome everybody. And for my Kemetic friends, I'd like to say Ankh Uja Seneb, and for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, that means life, prosperity, and health. So I want to take a minute and talk about why I decided to start this channel. You see, I've gone through a lot of physical setbacks in my life, the latest being a very rare muscle disease. And my story, I hope to put out there to motivate others. So what I want to do with this channel is, in later episodes, I will actually talk about my journey, the diagnosis that I had, what I did to recover, several setbacks that I had along the way, and like to take a lot of my subscribers' questions and answer those on the air. So what I really want to focus on, being that there is such large disparities in the African American community in terms of wealth, in terms of health, in general economic stability, I want to address those issues. Now, even though it's Afro-Centric based, these strategies I'm going to tell you will apply to everybody. And I'll get a little bit into how my spirituality helped me, and by no means am I trying to tell people what they should look at as far as their spirituality. My feeling is whatever works for you, more power to it, because we are all connected to the same source, which began in Kemet. And so I'm going to talk about the connection of that. I'm going to talk about the different exercises that allowed me to get to a point where I can somewhat live my life. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of things physically I cannot do. I still get my exercise in, but it's basically like physical therapy exercises that I've had to use throughout the recovery. I don't have the balance and the strength to pick up like 45-pound plates and put them on the bar anymore. So, I figure if I use, 2 10s on each side and a 5, then I get my 45 pounds there. Or excuse me, if I use 4 10s and a 5, and it's much easier for me to carry that weight. Another thing is I had to come to terms with there are times where I need a wheelchair. Like, for instance, when I travel, having to get my carry-on and ambulate over to the airport is quite taxing on the body. So sometimes I have to swallow my pride. And it took me a long time to get to that point because I have such ugly memories of actually being in a wheelchair. But like I said, we will discuss that in later episodes. I just want to welcome everybody and let you know that this is a place where you can, if you got questions, hey, feel free to email me, call me up, however you want to get in contact with me. You can check my other social media sources too, and I'll be happy to answer your questions to the best of my ability. My background, I have 3 certifications from the National Academy of Sports Medicine, better known as NASM, in personal training. I have a corrective exercise specialty and also a performance enhancement endorsement on my resume as far as personal training. I also know a lot about nutrition. Now, the thing about nutrition, people must realize that what works for me might not necessarily work for you. So I can give you some baseline facts and you can kind of use your head to go from there, and just the process of elimination, which you see the results from which don't work for you, because some people require more carbohydrates, some people a little less. Protein's pretty consistent across the board. So like I said, anything that you have to ask me, feel free to contact me. Once again, my name is Clark, and you're listening to and watching the Kemetic Truth.